Hey, good afternoon. Jose Almeda here, bringing you another little impromptu video for our IVC community. So I did this case yesterday, and I thought it was interesting because she had a superficial portion of the gray saphenous vein at the groin that was visible. That's what was bothering her the most. She had gray saphenous vein reflux. She had bulging varicose veins in the calf. She had symptoms, but what was really bothering her was the groin. She's super lean, super athletic, super lean, very little body fat. So you could palpate the saphenous vein from groin to knee. But at the mid thigh, the gray saphenous vein was in the fascia and not visible, but it was visible up top. The opposite of what we usually see, where the distal gray saphenous vein is out of the fascia, what we would call the epifascial vein or the superficial accessory saphenous vein. So let me show you what we did. I'm going to share the screen here. All right, here we go. So this is what I'm talking about. The saphenous vein here is visible, the upper thigh. This is the posterior thigh circumflex vein. The gray saphenous vein in the thigh is not visible. All right, so we're going to remove this and laser this. We'll just ligate this and let it fall back in. Now, like I said, usually it's the opposite problem where the gray saphenous vein in the groin is in the fascia. You get the epifascial or superficial accessory saphenous. It leaves the fascia at the thigh, runs along the skin. So in these cases, we would laser the top and do a stripping of the bottom. We used to call this the laser-assisted distal stripping, or we just sew the vein onto the sheath, and there's the sheath here, sutured, and do an invagination stripping. But this is the opposite problem. So we need to remove the top and laser the bottom, the opposite problem. All right, so let's look at the ultrasound here. And what I want to show you is right there where the gray saphenous vein is in the fascia at the mid-thigh. I'm just going to scan. She's got such little fat that it's hard to keep the probe on, but there's the veins that exits the fascia. Down here, we're going to remove this. As we go back up, it's in the fascia. All right. Now, we go ahead and place our tumescent, which everybody has seen before. It's up here, placing tumescent anesthesia around the vein. That's nothing exciting for those of you who do this regularly. And here we're going to position the fiber at the saphenofemoral junction. Here's a common femoral vein right here. This is the saphenofemoral junction. Of course, the laser fiber moving back and forth there. So we're going to position it a couple centimeters away, and then we'll start the laser. All right, here we will start to lase. There's your steam bubbles if we start lasering the vein. Now, why did I laser it up there? A couple reasons. If we lase this, knowing we're going to remove it, that'll make the vein hemostatic. My plan was to do a high ligation and divide it, but through basically a stab incision with a phlebectomy hook. So if I were to lose the vein or slip away from me, at least the top is cooked and we shouldn't get any bleeding from the saphenofemoral junction. But I went ahead and ligated and divided it and did a suture ligation just so we get no bleeding when she coughs later. So what's that look like? So I'm going to remove this segment all through this little hole. Here you can see we've elevated the vein with a hook and divided it, and we've got it as hemostats. Here you see that the vein has been lasered, all right? So if I were to lose this, fall off my hemostat, this is lasered. If we leave it there, it's going to look like charcoal. It'll look like a brown stain that'll take it forever to reabsorb. So we don't want to leave it there. Here I am working it. You can see the skin tenting. This vein is probably from here as I'm just working my way up through this one incision. And here we see that I've got the vein. See it all tented here. So I've pretty much got the skin retracted and the vein is going to be ligated at the saphenofemoral junction. This is really the saphenofemoral junction. It's just that I got the skin all tented back. So here I placed a 3/0 suture, looped it, and then dunked it back in. This we lasered. All right. So this I saw her today post-op. Yes, she's got some swelling, but we don't see the vein there. This is my incision with a little absorbable suture. So this has been removed all through this incision. I just pulled the skin back and worked my way up and was able to excise this. This was all lasered. Excuse me. You don't see the vein on the skin. These are our marks pre-op. I think this should heal nicely for her and she should be happy. Then on ultrasound, common femoral vein, common femoral artery. Here's the saphenofemoral stump. You can see probably a little bit of a lasered vein right here where it was ligated. So we did leave a little stump. There's no E-hit, no thrombus. That should work out well for her. So I just hope you find this interesting. I thought it was unusual. And when the lady came in, I first saw her, I was like, well, this is interesting. And all she kept pointing to was the groin. So I think once the swelling subsides, that vein will be gone, and I think she'll be happy. All right, just a little tip and trick how to manage the great saphenous vein when it's superficial at the groin and buried in the fascia distal in the thigh, the opposite of the superficial accessory saphenous vein that we usually see. For IBC Community, Jose Almeda signing out. Thank you.